Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of 2025 for Off Air, sponsored by Food City. I am Casey. This is Kristen. We are back after, as Kristen said, our Christmas vacations.
Yeah, exactly. When you first said that, I got a little nervous. I was like, first episode. I was like, has he lost his mind? But I see where you went with it.
As you earlier today, when somebody left today, you said, see you next year. Because we're filming this on New Year's Eve on Tuesday this week. So it is still 2024 when we're recording this podcast. But of course, you will not see it until 2025. So we're saying Happy New Year. Hope everybody has a great start to 2025. But we're going to recap our end of 2024. We were both off last week. That's why we did not have an episode for you last week, both out of town. You start off with your Christmas vacation.
Yes. So Christmas vacation was amazing. I went home to Georgia. So the ride down there was a little dicey. It's always pretty bad through 95. If you ever travel on 95, sometimes it can be horrendous right there in between South Carolina and Georgia, but everything else about the trip went great. So it was great to spend time with my family, my mom and my dad and my brother. We opened presents on Christmas, and it's always fun to see Riley, who is my daughter. She's 5, and she's really into the presents now. You know, she gets it.
So first couple Christmases, no idea, just, she's too young and can't open things, And
I think it's a little overwhelming for her too, because she's the only grandchild. So, she gets so many presents. So I think she's always, and she's very, I will say she's a very mindful child about each gift. And I feel like she appreciates each thing. And so I feel like sometimes it's overwhelming. Most kids just want to tear through every single present, and they're like, give me the next one, give me the next one, give me the next one. She's not like that. She very much wants to open it and then wants to play with it before she moves on to the next one.
So Christmas takes a long time.
It does, but it's kind of nice for her because it spreads it out throughout the whole day, and it just feels like she's excited about each thing. So she was actually the first to open a present and then the last because she had so many in the pile. But so it was really fun.
Okay, awesome.
And you got to spend your Christmas vacation for the first time in Florida.
First time ever. So I, like you, driving down Interstate 95. We stayed near your hometown of Savannah on the way down. Mm-hmm. We broke up our trip, and my wife's family is from Fort Lauderdale. So I'd been there a couple times, never at the holidays. So the first time I was ever in Florida for Christmas. So it was very nice when we got down there, and, the highs were in the low 70s, and that was kind of cool at that time. Then it got, in the mid to upper 70s the rest of the week in Christmas. Very strange being able to dip your feet in the pool on Christmas Day. Yeah. But because everyone down there has a swimming pool, you have to, with how hot it gets in the summertime. I have not been down there in the summertime. I think I've been there 3 times. It's been in the spring and now the winter. I've never been there in the dead of summer, which I'm sure at some point I will. But from what I hear, it is ungodly hot down there in the summertime. But they live pretty close to the beach, so there's always that breeze. But we had a great time. Got to see, some of her family. Her little nephew was born in July, so it was the first time either one of us got to meet him.
Aww,
so that was nice.
That's cute.
Her twin brother, Kelly, is a twin. Some people don't know that, but her twin brother, him and his wife had their first child back in July. So the first time we got to meet him, which was nice, and got to do some things. Went to a hockey game, the Florida Panthers. So I've never been to a Panthers game before. That was, of course, they're the defending Stanley Cup champions. So we went to a Panthers game one night, and also did Pop Stroke, which I'm not really familiar with, but it's mini golf that Tiger Woods is one of the investors of, kind of, I guess, co-owners, you want to say.
Right up your alley.
Right up my alley. That's what I think the in-laws were like, oh, Casey likes to golf, so we'll do something mini golf-wise, because none of them golf. And but it's amazing. There's not that many of them. It's only about 5 or 6 years old, Pop Stroke, but it's like turf, really nice. Looks like golf holes. There's about 7 in Florida. There's some in Arizona, Texas, kind of in the southern states. I think there's one in Myrtle Beach as well. I did not know that. I was there about a month ago, and I didn't know there was one down there. So I wasn't too familiar with it, but it was awesome. There's 36 holes. You can play as much as you want. There's one flat fee for the day. There's bars, there's restaurants, there's ping pong tables, things to do if you're not doing golf.
That's so fun.
The ice cream shop on site there. So it was awesome. Called Pop Stroke.
Did you win though?
I did. My father-in-law beat him by 2 each time. And then Kelly and her mom, was the 4 of us that went. Had a great time in the afternoon, beautiful weather. But yeah, it's something that I think I was reading. I should have done more research on this, but I think there's either one coming to Nashville or there might already be one in Nashville, but it's called Pop Stroke. It was just created in 2019. Tiger Woods, I think in 2020, got on board as an investor, and TaylorMade Golf did as well. So it is something that's growing. But again, I think there's either one coming to Nashville or there may already be one in Nashville. But if you ever, in Florida, there's some, I said Texas, Myrtle Beach, and Arizona. But if you ever get a chance, Pop Stroke, I highly recommend it.
I'll have to look that up because I feel like my husband would also enjoy that.
Yes. I really did not know much about it. I had heard of it. I'd seen some pictures, but I kind of forgotten about it because, again, this is 5 or 6 years old. But so, yeah, it was great. We did that as well. But, yeah, just a lot of family time. Got to dip in the pool a little bit. Did go have lunch on the beach one day. Didn't go in the ocean. But, so, yeah, I had a good time. And then, as you mentioned, the traffic. Oh, my gosh. I will never going to try and complain about traffic. Again, growing up in Pittsburgh, I always think people here think we have traffic. I'm like, no, we don't. But there are sometimes, you're on Roan Street in Johnson City, that's pretty congested. Or if you're on 26, 81 certain times, certainly. But, oh, my gosh, after driving, even just in Fort Lauderdale, I mean, it doesn't matter. On 95, it's at 6 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night. It's just cars. And even driving all the way through the state. I mean, I texted you on our way back. We got stuck in traffic near Savannah for quite a while.
95 is a mess always through there. And I'll tell you what, like Georgia, at least once you get into Georgia, it moves to 3 lanes. And South Carolina needs to get on board with that because it is so bad right through there. If you ever travel through there, like right when you go from South Carolina to Georgia, it always
because it's 2 lanes in South Carolina, and then they're having, which you wouldn't think it would, but it does back up going into Georgia because there's 2 lanes and it got to widen out to 3, and then vice versa. It's 3 lanes in Georgia leaving. Bad. We just had traffic on the way down in Columbia for a little bit. We had some, I think that was construction that they were doing, but then the rest of the time was okay. But the way home, we left on a Friday and then finished the drive on a Saturday. The Friday drive, I mean, through Florida, and then but then there was a ton of traffic coming the other way. So yeah, it's
just rough during the holidays. Like my husband always screams, he's like, "We're never doing this again." And then every year it's the same thing. I mean, I think like the really probably best way to do it is to like leave on a Wednesday and then come back on like a random day like that. But that never is how it can be. You got to leave on a Sunday or Saturday sometimes or Friday. So it is what it is.
And with Christmas being on a Wednesday, obviously most people, I would say, were off work all of last week.
Yeah.
And then New Year's on a Wednesday, it's kind of like, some people may just take the whole 2 weeks off.
True.
You and I, obviously, we're working this week of New Year's. We were not here last week. There's some people that were off both. Some people had to work both. But we're glad to be back. But yes, it's something after being in the car. We did about 10 hours on Friday with traffic and everything. And we stopped in Orangeburg, South Carolina. So then we went about 4 hours to finish off the next day. But yeah, and then it rained quite a bit on our drive home as well, coming back up. So, but yeah, glad to be back. But it always matters, no matter where you go, at least for me, when I go away, but it's always nice coming back home.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just
beautiful mountains
and get back in your bed.
Yeah.
Your own bed.
And just decompress a little.
Yeah. So we both were on Interstate 95, different times, But yeah, I did text you when we were stuck in traffic, and you told me where you were. We eventually got to that exit. We're like, oh, that's where Kristen said she was not too long ago. So we kind of, in passing almost, we stopped in Savannah, like I said, on the way down, but you weren't down there yet. When we on our way down, I left a few days before you did to head down. So
one day we're going to make it to where, you guys can stop and we can all hang out in downtown Savannah one night and have dinner.
And maybe we'll do an off air in Savannah.
There you go.
If we're still doing
Probably
this.
Not.
Probably a better idea we don't. We'll just keep them in the house. All right. So those are our Christmas breaks. If you want to let us know, drop us a line what your favorite part of your Christmas break was. If you have any travel nightmares, if you agree with us about the traffic, anything, or tips or whatever. Did you fly anywhere? What was that experience like? Or we both drove for our trips, but certainly let us know about that. Now we're going to go to some receipt checking. Had to go back in the memory. Our college and NFL picks this was from 2 weeks ago. Kristen, this was the first round of the college football playoff games that we picked. We both took underdogs. You took Indiana against Notre Dame. That did not work out. I also took SMU for Penn State. That did not work out. So we both lost our college games. You were 7-6 for college. I'm 8-5. We're not picking college games this week because, again, we're recording this on Tuesday. By the time it comes out, the Penn State Boise State game will be over. Probably the Texas game will. And I know you're, obviously very interested in the
Bulldogs.
Georgia game against Notre Dame. So we're not going to pick any college games this week because just the timing of when we're taping this. But if you want to give a couple thoughts on your Bulldogs, again, that's the 8:45 game.
I'm really excited. I'll be here. I've even thought about bringing some snacks for us to watch the game because we're going to be typing away for the newscast, but I'm also going to be watching. But, I picked my last game now that you reminded me of the receipts. I picked the last game. I was hoping that Notre Dame would lose, and they didn't. Because I thought that would be the best case scenario for my Bulldogs. To play Indiana, which probably would have been true.
Yeah, I think
so. So it is what it is. I guess we'll just see.
And you got a new quarterback making his first ever start.
We do. And I actually really like him.
Gunner.
Knock on wood, but I really like him. And I think I might like him more than Carson Beck. So,
Gunnar Stockton, he came in relief of Beck, who got hurt in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, they did better.
So far, I think he's playing great.
They did better in the second half offensively with him than they did with Beck in the first half. But this is a very close game. The spread is like 1 point. I mean, this is kind of a true toss-up game with Notre Dame. Notre Dame, remember, if you don't remember, they lost. If you don't remember, in week 2 of the season, Notre Dame lost at home to Northern Illinois out of the MAC, who ended up having a terrible season. I mean, that was probably the worst loss of the year by a power team in college football was Notre Dame losing at home to Northern Illinois. Then they run the table after that. Georgia, of course, lost twice this year. They lost to Ole Miss and they lost to Alabama, but they played much tougher teams than Notre Dame did. I'm going to lean Georgia in that game. I just think they've been here before. I mean, Notre Dame, they have a new coach from the previous times they were in the playoffs, Brian Kelly, now at LSU, and Marcus Freeman. Seems like a good coach. I just think this might be a bad matchup for Notre Dame. I think if they were playing maybe Penn State, Ohio State, that might be a little more better for them. But I think Georgia, their experience, their pedigree, I'm not going to bet against them. And this game is in New Orleans.
Yes.
So I'm sure, Southern, probably more Georgia fans will be making the trip, I would imagine, than Notre Dame fans. But that's the last game. Yeah.
That you're right on that one.
Now, next week, we will pick the semifinal games. Because they will tape this and record it before both games are played. The semifinal games are next Thursday and Friday, the 9th and 10th of January. So we'll do this next week, but we are going to pick NFL games. Your last NFL game, you had the Lions. That was 2 weeks ago against the Bears. You won that one, so you were 8-3-1 in your NFL games. I lost the Steelers against the Ravens. My pick, so I'm 9-3, so I'm a half a game ahead of you in the NFL, so it's really close. Final week of the regular season in the NFL this week. What game you taking?
All right. So there was we talked about it a little bit in the newsroom, what I was going to pick, but I've just decided to make a game time clutch decision.
Okay.
So I'm going to choose the Saints Buccaneers game because if the Buccaneers lose, then my Falcons are in.
If they win.
Yes.
Yes.
So I am going to go with the Saints that they're going to lose.
You need the Saints to win.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for the game, for the pick, the Saints are playing the Buccaneers. The Saints are a 13-point underdog.
Right.
So even if the Saints don't win, if they keep it close, you'll still get a win, even though your heart will be broken because your Falcons won't make the playoffs. So Kristen will be rooting hard for the Saints. And then again, the Falcons have to take care of their business against Carolina.
They will.
Okay. You heard it here. My pick is there's only one game this week in the NFL that's truly both teams are playing for something equally. The Lions and the Vikings. It is the Sunday night game right here on News 5 WCYB. Both teams are 14-2. The winner gets the number 1 seed in the NFC. The loser gets the 5 seed. That is a big drop. I'm going to take the Lions. They're at home, a 3-point favorite. I will swallow the 3 points and take the Lions. Our buddy from Big Stone Gap, James Mitchell, of course, on the Lions.
Yeah.
He hasn't dressed much this year. I think he's only played one game. He's on the practice squad, though, so he's part of the team certainly, but he hasn't dressed as much this year. But because of James and the Lions, I mean, how can you not root for Detroit unless you're a Vikings fan? I mean, Detroit's been doormats in the last couple of years. Last year, they were this close to the Super Bowl, and now they have a chance to be the number one seed. And
That would be great.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And speaking of the Super Bowl, a shameless plug, it is on one of our channels this year,
Yeah.
Fox.
Mhm.
So we will be working Super Bowl night, having a little maybe food party here before we do the news after whatever show Fox is hawking, because it never goes game newscast. It goes football game, news show, Fox or whatever network is promoting, then your local news.
I gotta think about what I'm gonna make for Super Bowl too.
You got some time. That's
I've got some
February
time,
the 9th,
but I'm gonna
you got some time.
Gotta bring a snack.
All right. And speaking of snacks, we're gonna get to those shortly. But again, today is New Year's Day, so congratulations. Yay! We made it to 2025. Are you a resolutions person? Do you do that?
I mean, I feel like yes, a little bit, but like my resolutions every year are like attainable goals. I feel like, like, and nothing like I'm gonna do this certain thing. Like I'm gonna read this many books, or like my resolutions are more like I'm gonna read more books. So like that was my one last year, and I actually kept track of it this year just to see how many that I've read during the year, because I really love to read, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna read more. I read 41 books this year.
Wow, that is very impressive. That is a round of applause.
41. So I don't know, maybe I'll read even more this next coming year. Who knows? But, usually my resolutions involve being healthier, getting outside more. So that's going to be, I think, my resolution this year is to just get outside more, because I really do just enjoy walking. And now I have a little puppy, a dog, so he can go walking with me. I don't know how far he'll get, but
even 10 or 15 minutes makes a difference.
Absolutely. And that's why the winter is kind of hard for me. And I like the warmer temperatures because I can get outside more. We can play pickleball.
We haven't played pickleball since September, I think.
I know, and I'm sad about it. We could try the indoor facility in Bristol.
Yes,
so maybe we need to do that one day. But, normally we play outside. So, and I miss that. I miss going out.
We got into a routine, a few of us here, Lauren Bradford and Ethan, our podcast producer, the four of us, we kind of got into a routine. We were playing once a week for about 5 or 6 weeks. And then once the first time the weather kind of turned, they were like, because we would play, we all work in the afternoon. So we would play in the mornings. And then it's like, it's a little cold. And then, then holidays and everything. And then, we haven't played
in a long
football,
and it just like kind of got crazy. But I'm like kind of mad about it, because I remember we were like, oh, I can't wait till fall to play, because it'll be like a nice little breeze, because we were playing in like the heat.
I think we started,
and then we never played in like the fall. So
I think we started playing like in late July or so, and we were good. I mean, it was like really hot. I mean, we're playing 9:30 in the morning. We're like, oh, sweating. Like, wait.
And we were getting better.
Yes, we were.
We were tearing it up.
It was
on the
hard not to improve
court.
how bad we were when we started. But your husband even joined us one time.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so.
Everyone's out pickling now.
It is.
If you guys haven't tried pickleball, you should give it a whirl. It's fun. Gets you
out. It is. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I would like it. I mean, because I'd never played it before, but other than with the people who played with here. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's competitive. It's something, most people I think can play it. It doesn't take a ton of skill, I guess you could say. So a lot of people can play. So yeah, it's good. Oh yeah, I'm really not resolute. I mean, I try to, why wait till the first of the year to like try and change? I try and just do the be best version, like, oh, I'm not going to slack off for 4 months and then I'll pick it back up. And, but yeah, so I've never really been a resolution type person.
Well, you should make one anyways.
Okay. I'll think about it. Yeah. I guess I got some time.
All right. Well, speaking of New Year's, so our treat for the night, not really, I don't know if you want to call this a treat. There is something that on New Year's that I am very superstitious about.
Okay.
And no matter what I do, and it is, I eat a New Year's meal, the typical standard New Year's meal, the old wives' tale New Year's meal. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So.
You eat this on New Year's Day?
Yes.
Okay.
Every year.
Every year.
Now, a variation of it.
Okay.
So I brought it for you today.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this here, if you can see it, I warmed it up. This is not going to be as good as what I make, okay? Because I made this. We don't have a kitchen here, okay? So
yeah. So cornbread, I see.
Now, yes. Now the cornbread, I did make at home.
Okay.
I whipped that up on my dinner break.
Some
And this is black-eyed peas and collard greens.
Okay.
Now, the wives' tale goes that you eat black-eyed peas for the change that you're going to make in the year. So the more of these you eat, the more change you'll make in the year. And then the collard greens is supposed to represent like cash money.
Oh.
So how many bills you're going to make.
Okay.
And then I think the cornbread may be like gold or something. And then usually you're supposed to eat like ham or pork because like pigs root forward.
I've heard of pork,
like,
I think. I've heard that's supposed to be.
Yeah. So normally I don't do black-eyed peas, if we're being honest. I do pintos and like soup beans.
Yeah.
Soup beans with like ham in it.
Okay.
And then I make my homemade collards, which I make with like bacon and stuff. And I think it's probably going to be better than this. No offense. And then cornbread. And normally I do like cast iron cornbread, but these are cornbread muffins.
Okay.
But I figured we could try it.
All right.
And then, now, I know you're not a drinker.
Oh, yeah,
but
look at that.
I brought some Welch's sparkling grape juice to have with our meal.
Okay.
So we can ring in the new year with the traditional. Okay.
Poke your eye out here.
Yeah. So here you go.
Bottoms up.
Have you ever had this?
No.
Do you like grape juice?
No.
Not at all?
I mean, I can't tell you the last time I drank.
Grape juice?
Grape juice.
Okay. Cheers to the new year.
Cheers to 2025. Okay, it's not bad.
Do you like it?
I do, yeah.
What would you rate that, the drink?
I'd say a 6.
I can't find a drink that you like. All right.
I mean, that's above it.
Now you have to try a bite of each, or you'll have bad luck.
Okay.
That's just how.
These are black-eyed peas.
Black-eyed peas. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really like. I don't know about black, but I really like pinto beans.
You do?
I do.
Like soup beans?
Yeah, that's what these kind of look like, but I know they're.
Yeah, not the same.
But no, they're.
I usually make soup beans, and I usually we normally have ham on Christmas.
Okay.
And what I like to do is you save the bone, wrap it up, freeze it, and then put it in your soup beans in the crock pot.
Okay.
And then it flavors the beans. I think it makes it good.
I don't think we ever really had a growing up like a New Year's meal like we had, but I feel like we always sometimes I was like kielbasa and sauerkraut is one that I kind of stick out of that I think we kind of had. And now I'm trying to collard greens now.
Yeah, not much flavor with the.
Is it kind of like a spinach-ish?
Mm-hmm. Have you not had collards?
No.
We got to get him in the South more.
Yeah, I know. I've lived here for 15 years almost, but I'm still a Yankee, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, that's not good. Okay.
I have a feeling the cornbread's would be the thing I like the most.
The cornbread muffin?
Yeah.
Well, good, because I made it. I actually made that part. You like the cornbread? I
do. Not just because you made it, but it is very good. You did an excellent job.
Thank you. Whipped it up really fast. But like I said, normally I do a cast iron one. Heat up the cast iron, pour it in there. Gets it really crunchy on the edge.
Did you guys in your family growing up, did you guys have doing New Year's traditions? Do you guys do anything on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
We eat this. Well, normally we eat soup beans, but this is something that we always do. But my mom actually made it on Christmas week.
Okay.
So we ate it early. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of weirded out a little bit by it because I'm like, should I make it again tomorrow?
Oh.
But normally with soup beans, you soak them overnight. And I don't think I have any in the cabinet. So is that a bad omen? So I might be stopping tomorrow just to get a can. I'm going to be eat this now, just in case.
Did you guys do New Year's Eve? Did you guys ever do anything on New Year's Eve, family tradition or do?
No, I mean, we always stay to watch the ball drop.
Yeah.
Pretty much always do that. And I used to really want to go to New York and actually see it and be in the crazy.
In Times Square.
Yes. I used to want to do that. Now you couldn't pay me probably to do that. Unless I'm the news anchor.
But then you'd be
unless
far
I'm
away
Ryan
from
Seacrest.
On top of the riser there and looking down on all the peasants.
And I'm exactly. Unless I'm that, I ain't doing it. No way. Because I just think it's number one, probably super cold and miserable. Number 2, no bathrooms. Number 3, that sounds like a perfect place for some crazy to come out of the
Because right,
woodwork
like it's
and
like the security. You have to go through like a security. Like once you're there, there's
yeah,
no like
there's
I
no
gotta go to the
leaving.
bathroom and
Well, you're just out, but
yeah.
that just seems like prime
And
opportunity.
it's hours, right? I mean, you're out there hours ahead of
Mhm.
time. Like you can't just show up at 10:30 and
No, they show up at like 6 in the morning and you wear adult diapers
Yeah.
and you stand out there. No, none of that sounds fun to me. Nope, not doing it. So
I actually today or on New Year's Eve and the newscast, some of the stories we covered made me go back to one of the things we used to do. Our family, we went bowling on New Year's Eve, probably I would say 8 to 10 years in a row. That was what we did as a family. And usually for at least like me, my mom used to be in a bowling league. My grandfather was at one time.
that's so fun.
But usually for most of us, that was the only time we bowled all year was on New Year's Eve. And we did that as a family for a long time. So that, and then because we did a story with here, Pins and Friends did an event in the afternoon for, younger kids who maybe can't stay up till midnight. And then also Tiebreakers in Johnson City. They had an event. They also have bowling out there as well. And that made me think back that was our New Year's Eve tradition, is because it would be something like maybe start at like 9 o'clock at night. And then it would go till maybe 2 in the morning. And that's what, younger, we're like, oh, that's the one night we can stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning. And so, yeah, you'd go bowl, then they would stop. They would have food as well.
I feel like you're a good bowler.
No,
I feel like
no.
you're good at bowling.
Actually,
we did go to Pins and Friends one time for your birthday.
Yeah,
and I feel like you were good at bowling.
Yeah, but that's duck pin bowling at Pins and Friends. Like,
well, we need to go real bowling at Exit 7 or something.
Yeah, but you would. I have a very unorthodox delivery in bowling. I mean, it kind of works for me, but I don't put
use the gutter thing, like the.
No, I don't use the.
Use the.
No, we don't have the gutter.
Use the.
The little push thing.
Yeah,
no,
little, like,
we don't have the
handicap thing for kids.
And we don't have the what's it on the side, the gutter.
Oh yeah, the
guard.
What do they call that? Why can't I think?
Yeah,
of it? But yeah, I know what you're talking about. The guard.
Yeah, I don't use that either. But
bumpers.
I have a bumper car. I don't know. It's bumper cars. Maybe it is bumpers, but I don't. I just hold the ball like this and go back. I don't put my finger.
No, that's the way the professionals do it, and you probably have a little spin.
No, they
on
don't.
It.
They put their fingers in the three. There's like the 3 holes on the ball.
Do they though?
Oh, I'm almost positive they do.
I think they've got they hold it like that, and then they spin it, and it goes and it goes crazy.
Heave it, and it makes a big thud sound and it hits the floor. I'm a very unorthodox bowler, but yes, we do need to go.
We should try it
sometime. But yeah, you would make
off air at the bowling alley.
Off air at the bowling alley.
We're also going to do one day, totally off topic, but it made me think of it. We were talking about. I asked all the men in the newsroom if they think that they could kick a 25 yard field goal. Yeah. And pretty much everyone, I was out of 10, how many do you think you could get? And a lot of people were high up there on the numbers. So we got to go do that one day too. I'm going to take a football out there and see
25 yards.
And I'm going to film it and see who in the newsroom is full.
I don't think I would be, that's not a competition I would win in the newsroom. I think I could definitely make some, but I don't believe that I would win a field goal competition. If anybody at the station wanted to do 25-yard field goals, I don't think I would win it, but I think I would make.
I don't know if I could make one, but I would give it my
college try, the old college try.
I'd give it.
Okay, here you go. What athletic sporting competition would you people at the station would you think you would win? Again, just involving people here at the station.
Athletic? It has to be athletic?
Like a sport, like if we did a pickleball tournament, would you win that? Or a mini golf? Or a game of horse, something like that.
Oh, that's so hard. We've got a lot of talented people here. I probably can't beat you in pickleball, so I can't even say that.
Well, we've only played doubles. I've never, when we've gone and played pickleball, we've never played singles, but I think it's pretty clear of the 4 of us, me, you,
no offense,
Ethan and Lauren, you and I think are the 2 better players among there. When we are partners, the games are
a little uneven.
But I will give Lauren Bradford a tremendous shout out. When we first started playing pickleball, she was
you would yell at her.
Awful. And I drove me crazy when she just wouldn't try. Like, she just and it drove me crazy. I'm like, I don't care if you can't do it, but give me some effort.
Right.
And then after a couple of weeks, it got to the point where she was getting better. And she was giving way more effort. I was really proud of how she really kind of raised her pickleball game. But yes, the first couple of times I did have to okay, just relax. Pickleball, we're having fun. But sometimes I was like, drive me crazy being her partner.
That is so true.
Yeah.
But we know what you would beat us all in is golf. Easy. I don't think there's a single person in the newsroom that could beat you.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, on any, yeah. I mean, a day, absolutely.
I mean, maybe Matthew's pretty good though.
Yeah,
our producer,
I haven't.
He's pretty good.
We played a few times in outing. We do our fantasy football league here at the station. Sometimes we'll do a little golf outing before the season starts for anyone that wants to play. But I don't know if I've ever actually played in the same group as Matthew. I always feel like because we usually have two groups, enough to do two groups.
Well, maybe we need to do that.
Yeah. We had another guy. Daniel's pretty good at golf. Daniel Coates, he plays.
I might be able to beat y'all in a karaoke competition.
Oh, yes. I'll tell you, Kristen and Dave, they sing down in the studio together. I mean, they sing songs and they're like a duet. I mean, I tell you, Kristen and Dave, people should pay money to hear these two do duets. I just sit back and listen because I can't sing a lick. But Kristen is way better than Dave. I mean, Dave can chime in pretty good, better than I can. But Kristen is a very good singer. I mean, in all seriousness, Kristen is a very good singer.
I don't know about that, but we could definitely, me and Dave could definitely maybe make a cruise ship duet, like we might be able to get a job on a cruise ship, like on a Carnival cruise, and people would have enough drinks and they'd be like, oh, they're pretty good.
Maybe you should try that here locally somewhere first, start it off here.
Hey, I'm open for business.
Kristen and Dave are a duet in the evenings. I'm telling you, sometimes the 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock news goes off the rails a little bit in commercial breaks with her and Dave singing. And I'm just like, okay. But yes, you absolutely, I think, would win a singing competition. I would have no chance. An artistic drawing, I would be dead last.
You would be so last.
Dead last. I may be the worst drawer. So, all right. Well, we're going to wrap it up this week. But again, our first off-air 2025. We're back from our Christmas breaks. We'll do this again next week. Hopefully.
Thanks, Food City. I bought all the things from Food City.
There you go. And they're a sponsor of the podcast as well. So a double win. Thanks to Food City. Thank you guys for watching. Hope everybody has a great 2025.